What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another edition of War Chant TV. We're live. It is early National Signing Day on this Wednesday. Michael Langston back here with us. It's been fast and furious ever since we signed off around, I don't know, what was it about, 9:30, 9:45 this morning, Michael. The LOIs keep rolling in. I think the last one that we had heard from was Carter Boatwright, as well as Kentron Poitier had committed, and I think we're up to 8 or 9 right now. The names are scrolling at the bottom of the list, but or the bottom of the screen rather, but they're still coming, man.
They're coming, they're flying, and we got a big hour coming up this hour because quarterback Tate Ronemaker is going to be signing with FSU, we expect, and then certainly you have several others that are coming up. I think that maybe haven't signed yet, but and then you also have wide receiver Brian Robinson. That's a big announcement that's coming up. Looks good going into it for FSU, but we'll see. You never know. I never count anything until they announce it or sign. So we're just kind of waiting on that. And I put this on the board. There's kind of a clarification on Lloyd Willis. He will be signing tomorrow morning at 9:30. We had 9:30 on our list, but found out I talked to Derek Gibson. Yes, the former player at FSU, Derek Gibson. He's the head coach there, and he told me signing tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So they'll be waiting on one commit at least tomorrow morning, but that should be handled pretty quickly. And but besides that, we're moving fast, and we're just going to see what Mr. Robinson is going to do very shortly.
All right, and as you also mentioned, and it's at the bottom of the screen, Tate Rodemaker expected to also officially make his announcement, sign and send stuff over from Valdosta High School. So we're also bracing that to be a Florida State selection. And then Chubba Purdy. Gosh, I've almost been saying Chubba Purdy. I've been spelling it all wrong. Chubba, I know, man. Chubba Purdy, I got you, my friend. Out of Gilbert, Arizona, suburb of Phoenix, going at 2:15 Eastern time here. So keep an eye on that, as well as Morven Joseph, which I think will be streaming from a Polk County Seminole Facebook page or something like that. So that seems like a bit of a good sign as well. So
I don't know. I never take anything as
okay.
signs. So
well, let's go. Let's take a question from the Premium Recruiting Board. If you're not a member, everything that Michael is saying and more is all there in nice to easy read formatting for you over on the Premium Recruiting Board. Use the promo code SAVE50FSU to get 50% off an annual membership if you are a first-time subscriber to warchant.com. I couldn't think of a better Christmas gift if you got a Florida State fan in your life. This one comes from Ryan Driss. One, how are things, speaking of Morven Joseph, how are things trending with Joseph now? Anything new, Michael?
just very conflicting right now. I have to say, I would still stay with what I have as far as the pick with Tennessee, but I think there's a lot of discussion going on between him and his family. A lot of them are torn on which way, FSU or Tennessee. I think it's going to be Tennessee, but I don't have any new information to base that on. It's just my gut feeling as far as what I hear is a little more Tennessee. So that's kind of where things stand. But right now, like I said, there's a lot of conflict for going back and forth of the family of which way this could end up.
Well, at least it won't be Florida, hopefully. So that's an encouraging thing, I would say. As you're checking your phone there, Brian Robinson, again, we're expecting that probably, hopefully 15, 30 minutes, somewhere like that, Michael?
Could be any minute now.
We'll take that. We like that one as well. We got a question from, looks like here, FSU ORL. Seems to be struggling pulling linemen right now. Likely, is that due to no offensive line coach having been announced so far?
I don't think they're necessarily struggling because they didn't really go after a lot of guys. And
Why not, Michael? Why
out,
not? We need offensive linemen.
Well, that's what they're waiting for the later signing period for, because then they'll have a coach. And you don't want to push for a lot of guys if you don't have a coach lined up in there, even though you do have an offense coordinator. I think their plan was all along to later signing period just really go balls to the wall and get their guys. So I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything alarming about that. I don't think there was anything surprising. We only went after one guy, and he basically was connected with Clements, and he ended up the same school as Clements and Tobias Braun. So I don't think they really pushed for a lot of guys yet. I think they already have their targets lined up, but I think they're waiting for the lady signer period before they really get serious on that.
Also of note, Jeff Sims, spring tour alum, did sign with Georgia Tech. So there's it.
Of course,
Good for. I mean, seriously, like legitimately, good for Jeff Sims, man. Glad it all worked out. That's got to be really tough to
good
have your,
good kid, and gave us a lot of good stuff. And wish him the best over at Georgia Tech. And sometimes things just don't go as you plan, even for the recruits. It just doesn't go that
What
way.
happened to the other kids? What was it? Bermudez and Kobe Baines. The Baines was it Louisville, and I don't know what happened to Bermudez. I lost track of him.
Bermudez signed with Ole Miss today.
Look at that.
That was his last visit. He went over there and he signed with Ole Miss. Kobe Baines, Miami made a push, but he stuck with Louisville. So that's kind of where things stand with those two guys.
All right. Again, folks, as you see at the bottom of your screen, we're scrolling by the names that have officially been received, the LOIs, the letter of intents, as well as a couple of the upcoming signing times to be note of. Again, Brian Robinson coming here at 1 o'clock, as well as Tate Rodemaker, the quarterback from Valdosta High School, 2:15. Chubba Purdy, and then at 4 o'clock, Morgan Joseph. Excuse me as I sort of hiccup here as I'm eating some oatmeal off screen, because I did take a nap. Michael didn't. Michael's been working this whole time. I took a nap, and I woke up and made myself a little snacky snack, but we're gonna survive this thing through it, I promise you, man. Let's see here. If there's any more questions? Let's take a question or two from the folks on YouTube here. Jaheim Bell, did he end up signing with USC?
Well, that's what we're waiting on because he's signing the same time as Tate.
Okay.
So that will be coming up momentarily at 1 o'clock. We'll see what happens there. I still think it's going to be South Carolina. I don't think there's going to be a big surprise there, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel on that.
All right. Kendall Dennis apparently is about to announce on ESPNU, they're saying as well. And let's see here. Looks like Robinson's mom and another family are wearing an FSU shirt, says somebody.
Yeah. I don't know how you take that. Sometimes that could be misdirection. Sometimes it just be, hey, this is where we're going. We're not going to make a big deal, but just wait and see.
That's what Joanne says. And gosh, Joanne is always a very optimistic guy. I'm surprised he would think it's a bad sign there. Let's see here. We got B Case 20 from the Premium Recruiting Board. How do you feel about the new punter from down under? Have you been able to gather any more intel on our boy from Victoria?
I have not. That's going to take me a little time. I've been focused on these guys that are getting in this class. That was a surprise. I didn't even know about that. But I'm certainly going to do a lot of research on him because he has been the talk of the day. You never thought a punter would be the talk of the day, but so far he's been kind of the talk of the day because of you don't usually see a punter in a class. So I think it's kind of a big deal. And when's the last time they got an Australian player? So, that's unique too, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And I will do some research and once I do some research, I'll let everyone know.
He's got a Huddle page, but there's no videos on his Huddle page, or else I try to maybe play a video too for us to see his the glorious leg that I'm sure he has on him. Maybe he's even like a left-footed guy, so something to really look forward to. Let's see here. How about BR Knoll 1? Do we get Yaya Diaby in February? I have no idea who Yaya Diaby is, but I like that name, so sign him up.
Yeah, Yaya's a JUCO defensive end that they just offered right before the early signing period. He's not going to sign the early signing period. He's going to be in the late. He's probably going to take a visit in January. He's got an offer from Louisville, but I think he was looking for something bigger, so I think FSU has certainly a solid shot there. He has a relationship with Adam Fuller before, who offered him when he was at Memphis. So I think he's a guy that they like a lot, and I think he's a guy that they have a good shot with. Just got to get him on campus, and then we can get a feel from there.
Kendall Dennis, apparently everybody on YouTube is telling me that Kendall Dennis went ahead and picked Oklahoma, and they're telling you good call on that one, Michael.
Okay.
So,
there you go.
How about we got another one? Obviously, people want to know about quarterback. Any new information on Chubba, or is it still quiet on the Purdy watch?
It's the same as what we covered this morning when I put the Nuggets up, that everything we seem to have trends towards FSU. Looks pretty good. right now we're just waiting until 2:15, but everything we hear looks pretty good for FSU.
Gotcha. Blake Manning on YouTube asking about Dejon Edwards. Dejon Edwards is going to be a February guy, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, that's Dejon will be signing in February, so he was going to officially visit FSU in the last weekend of the early signing period, but decided not to because he had to take the ACT. So yeah, Klansman, he'll sign in February, and I'm sure he'll officially visit FSU, and then we're going to approach that in a later signing period after that.
Taz Love Knowles, patience friend, he's asking who are we looking for after the early signing day to sign in February. Michael will work on that for you. It's like the first thing he's going to do.
I will get on that after this signing day, but right now I'm just focused on this signing day, and I will get to the targets. It's going to take me a little time because this is a new staff, so I have to figure out who their targets are going to be. I have a handle on a few of them, but I still need some time to kind of figure that stuff out.
Listen, this is the most important day because it's the next day. Or whatever, right? Like, this is the most important game because it's the next game. We do coach speak here on War Chant TV as well. Let Michael focus on what he's got to focus on as we continue to wait for Brian Robinson to make his pick out of Palm Beach Central High School down there. We visited his teammate a few years ago, Akeem Dent, spring tour veteran, and he's a Knoll. So they all do work out. They all do work out.
Actually got one right.
Let's see here. Garofalo 5 actually looks like he's got a video of the punter, Alex Mastromano. Let me see if I can pull that up without crashing the entire system here. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm risking it for everybody at home that wants to know what this punter looks like. So let's see what we got here. And hopefully Poppy Suave doesn't have me blocked, and then I want to be able to actually see what he's got. All right, let's see here. Work with me, everybody. Just work with me here. We're all in this together. We are all in this together. Where is this? I promise it happened 4 hours ago. So I got to scroll through all this. Man, he's retweeted. This guy's a big time fan. He's like retweeted every single thing the Florida State account has put out. A couple politic threads. Let's not find those. Let's stay away from those. If Brian Robinson doesn't commit, as I'm trying to find this here, Michael. If Robinson doesn't pick Florida State, who do you think it would be?
It would probably be Pittsburgh. I would have to go with Pittsburgh. That's kind of the school that was the other team in the mix. He officially visited them as well. He liked as far as going over there, so I think that's a place he's liked before. So if it's by some shocker, it's not FSU, I would say it'd have to be Pittsburgh if I had to guess.
Okay, here we go. Is it a GIF? Am I looking at a GIF? That's what we're looking at, a GIF right now? All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what it's a joke. It kicks off a globe and then hits another planet. Can't believe I just wasted all this time trying to find this for everybody. But actually, no, this one looks legitimate here. That was like, all right, here we go. Let's see if we can bear with me here, everybody. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. It'll be worth it, I hope. Hopefully it'll be worth it. All right, let's transition over here. Oh, it's great. They got an accent and everything. Here we go.
Nice.
All right, he is righty. He's got a little bit of a draw. Works the ball a little bit right to left. He's got a good little build on him, it seems like. Probably, okay. I think I want to work on our catch and release time. Look a little bit too long on the catch and release, but he's got some consistency in terms of pinning it on the same part of the field. All right, let's see. Centering one up here, Mike. Let's see how it goes. Oh, there we go. That's sauce. That's sauce. I like that one a lot. All right. We're good. We're good. Good use of the scholarship. Good use of the scholarship. I like it. We'll take it. So he's got no stars. How's that going to work, Michael? Is that going to bring down the team grade?
No, you think they usually reevaluate guys that they didn't have on there, and then the rival staff will look at them, and then whatever they do for kickers, whatever they see as far as punters, So I don't think it's going to drastically hurt them, but really, guys, does it really matter? I mean, it doesn't matter. If he's good, he's good. So whether he's a 2-star or 3-star, or he brings their ranking down even a little bit, I don't think it matters.
How many guys do you think we signed today? Asks a subscriber, Michael. Arshaw 1983.
How many guys do I think they'll sign
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
Well, 13 commitments. So if you get 4 or 5, say 17 or 18, I would say.
Okay. Staying hydrated. B Case 20, give us some insight on all these 1 p.m. wide receiver choices. I mean, I think you kind of broke it down, right? It's Pitt, as well as Florida State with Brian Robinson. Is there another wide receiver I don't know
Yeah,
about?
I just can't see it being. I can't see it being anybody else aside that because he only visited really Pitt and then, Alabama, possibly, but I don't think they're a factor because he never really visited them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be them. I don't think they would be a major factor, but I think Pitt would be the other team if I was watching a team, that would be it. But like I said, we've been expecting FSU for a while. Dugans is retained. Great visit, last visit. Everything seems to point to FSU, but until the kid announces, you're nervous until whatever you hear the kid say. So we just got to wait and see what the kid says and then kind of go from there.
We got Benzo's on Saturday from Warchant. Also, Hunter Griggers goes by in real life, the W2. Was wondering, what's the ceiling on this overall class? Do you think we can crack the top 15?
I think that's possible. I think, especially if you get Robinson and Purdy today, you somehow pulled Morvan. Definitely, I think they would be in there. I would think they would be even higher than that. So I think, but I think definitely if they got those two today with Purdy and Robinson, I think you're talking about, top 15 is very, very realistic.
I'm mid-bite right now on my oatmeal. I'm about done with it, though. He's also talking smack about my shirt, says I should iron it. Worry about your own life, Hunter. Don't worry about mine, man. I'm doing all right. Ja'Kai Douglas, he's signed today, right, Michael? From Houma, Louisiana, my boy.
Got some breaking news.
Okay, here we go.
Brian Robinson has committed to Florida State.
Let's go. Put it on the board. Ring the bell.
I can't put it on board. I'm talking to you, so I can't really do that. But Brian Robinson has just committed to Florida State.
That's right. Number 20 player ranked in Florida, the number 25 wide receiver in the entire nation, 6'2", 185, out of Palm Beach Central High School. That's in West Palm Beach. Position in need, right? And wide receivers, who knows what's going to be going on with Tamori and Terry. And playmaker has been the buzzword kind of used by Kenny Dillingham when he's been speaking to the media at Florida State, and Mike Norvell's even said as much when he's tweeted out some of the commits. So, Brian Robinson, man, what do you think stands out the most about Brian Robinson, Michael?
There's a lot. He's very athletic. He's very physical, which I love about my receivers. I want my receivers to. You want to be physical, but he also, his physicality gets him separation, but also so does his speed. So he can do a lot of things because you can put him in all kinds of places, slot, whatnot. Just all over the field. The guy can do a little bit of everything.
All right, look at us. You're banging some stuff out. I'm banging some stuff out here. Bear with us, folks, as we try to do live television.
Guys, what I'm doing right now is I am updating the thread. So you guys that aren't on this thing, which you should be because me and Aslan rock, you should be on here, but I'm just updating this thread and putting on
very
here.
Good. So Malachi Weidman, is he going to be doing something official here in the next few minutes, we're thinking?
Yeah, it should be any minute with him as well.
All right.
So that should be coming up as well. So like I said, the 1 o'clock hour is going to be very busy, and me and Aslan are doing a lot of multitasking right now.
We are.
I mean, but a big pickup for Brian. I think that was the big one that I looked at. I didn't want to put too much pressure on people that would freak out if I said, "Oh, they didn't get him," but I thought that was a guy that they needed to really land.
Yeah. Pulling up some highlights right now of him on his huddle page. As you can see, he's got grown man status. Drip so hard is what goes over his name during his highlight film, so you know he's got to be good. Here he goes, right there showing you that he can high point the ball over the defensive back. And Palm Beach Central, man, you're playing legitimate competition down there, right, Michael?
Yep. Yeah, they're going to play the top teams, and he's played against the top teams. So yeah, he's everything you want in a receiver for what Coach Norvell wants to build there, and I think certainly that was a humongous pickup.
One of his touchdowns, he scored a touchdown and like ran off the field like he was on a pogo stick. So I like that. He's got some celebration. That's important. That'll get you that 4th star.
Right.
But no, man, fluid guy, looks good. I like the way he looks on film. I'm sure everybody else at home kind of agree with that. We'll let it ride for a second, Michael, while I try to pull up another question or two from the subscribers on warchant.com. Let's see what else we got here. Nolaholic, what happened with the quarterback likely signing with Oregon today? Did we offer him any idea why he decided to sign early since that was not the plan? Is that the kid from Hoover, Robbie Ashford?
Before I get to that, Thomas Strader has sent in his letter of intent.
More breaking news?
So Thomas Strader is a part of the class.
Boom. Let's go. Let's go.
So they got him. Now, what was your question?
Who cares, man? Let's talk about Thomas freaking Schrader, man. Let me pull up some highlights of Thomas, man. Here we go.
Okay.
He's got 3.73 GPA, man. 2018 first team all-district, part of the state championship squad, played left tackle. Is he a tackle or is he a guard, Michael?
He is a tackle. I think they've talked about guard, but he's a tackle. I think that's what they're going to use him at. I think, he's going to bring a lot. He's a guy, if you were picking out of all the 3 guys that they have, I think he's the guy that could help you the earliest already. So I think he's a big one.
All right, right on. So, yeah, you need all the help you can get on the offensive line, obviously. People worried about offensive line. Well, there you go with Thomas Schrader. Let me pull up his we'll transition to your ugly mug now. Not Brian. I have Brian Robinson in front of me. You, Michael. Let me go that so I can switch gears here and pull up Schrader. So, I mean, I think it's got to say something, and it happens everywhere, right? New coaching staff comes aboard, and they do keep a bunch of the commitments that were there from the previous staff. But Florida State seems to be doing pretty well in terms of the guys that were committed to the previous staff. So, I mean, either, I guess, maybe give a tip of the cap to Taggart and the way he evaluated some guys, or just to the fact that...
Before I get to that, this is important. Brian Robinson has sent in his letter of intent. So Brian Robinson has sent in his letter of intent. That's big. So that's a big for FSU to get that in. But now go ahead with your question.
So what was there a chance that he was gonna announce but then not send the LOI until later?
No, you just never know, Aslan. I'm a person that until you get the stuff signed and turned in, you just never know. I mean, I've seen too many crazy things in South Florida with, I don't know if you followed today, Jaden Francois. He committed to, everyone thought he was going to Nebraska. Then he committed to Miami while he was during the press conference. Then he walked out of the press conference, came back, and then he ended up signing with Nebraska. That's what you get when you South Florida kids. You just don't know because there's drama filled with stuff. So that's why I say, just never know, man. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah, I remember, when I was working in TV, we'd have signing day parties in Alabama and Mississippi, and we'd go around, we'd ask these kids, and they were down between Auburn and Alabama, and we'd ask them, hey, when did you know it was going to be Alabama? And like, man, I didn't know until I just signed. It's like, what? Like, what, you literally just sat there like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and then you just grab the hat, and there's so much pressure on these kids. We really forget kind of what they're going through, how big of a decision it is, and how tough it is to figure it out when you're that young, so...
Yeah, it's just South Florida, man. I mean, it's just...
That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say, Michael. Go no further. Again, let's look at a little more of Thomas Schrader here. He's listed at 6'5", 277 from Venice, Florida. Okay. 3-star guy. So, I don't know how much instant help you're going to get on the offensive line when it comes to recruiting an 18-year-old kid. It seems like junior college and the transfer market's probably where Mike Norvell and the staff are going to make their bones. But obviously you want to create this pipeline of young guys you can build up, and Schrader probably fits that bill in terms of maybe being a year or two away, but good raw tools, right?
Yes, very good tools. I mean, if you watch him and watch Venice throughout the year, I mean, he is mauling people. I mean, he gets off the line really well, uses his hands well, he's got good feet. Just technique-wise, he needs to get, that stuff needs to be cleaned up, and whoever the new offensive line coach is, they're gonna obviously fix that stuff and improve that in part of his game. But he's a guy, like I said, that he can come in there and help your team probably the earliest. And this kid just mauls people. I mean, I cannot put it in any other words. He just mauls people. So I think he's going to be a good one as soon as they keep him in cleanup technique. And I think he's going to be a good one.
And back to Robbie Ashford, right? He was the kid from Hoover that was injured, quarterback, but he did sign with Oregon?
Yeah, he is not committed or signed to my knowledge, but I do expect him to do so. But I have not heard that he is committed or signed yet.
And you explained the Lloyd Willis situation, but we got some people joining us late here. FSU family was asking what happened with Lloyd Willis supposedly signing at 9:30. That's been moved, you said?
Yeah, as I explained and I told you and made it an announcement on that the time is right. It was just the day was off. So it's actually on Thursday. South Florida, man, I don't know what they do. You can't control what they do over there. But yeah, he's signing. He's going to sign with the FSU. So don't worry, everyone relax. Everything's good. But he will sign them, but it'll be on Thursday. So apparently I guess they had some issues where they couldn't do it today. So that's kind of.
Listen to you, Michael. Talking about it's going to be all right. Don't worry, he's going to sign. And then 2 minutes earlier, like, oh, you never know until it's finally sent over. I'm always worried about that.
Well, he's kind of a different bird because he's been locked in with them for a while, and he's a guy that hasn't really wavered as far as his feelings there. So I think you never say never, but I would say there's a high probability that he'll be in this.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Folks on YouTube asking, Bobby Minitree asking, has the quarterback from Valdosta signed yet? That would be Tate Rodemaker. He has not. That's something that we're waiting on.
We haven't got confirmation on that yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Okay, here we go. Breaking news, guys. For the first time in 3 years, FSU has signed a quarterback.
High school quarterback. Yeah.
Tate Rodemaker is officially a part of the Knowles family.
There we go, man. There we go. Better late than never, right? Better late than never.
That's one way of looking at it.
I mean, amazing. We're at day 10 of Mike Norvell being the head coach at Florida State, and he gets it done. 3-star prospect out of Georgia, the number 72nd player in this Peach State, 6'4", 195 from Valdosta High School. Tate Rodemaker, man. I know he might not have been on a lot of people's radars that cover Florida State recruiting, but with you covering so much of the Big Bend and South Georgia in terms of high school football, how long have you known about Tate, and how do you assess him, Michael?
It's kind of funny with that because I really, when I went over there to see him the first time, it was actually to see Dejon Evers.
Okay.
So I wasn't even going to see him. And so then when I saw him, I was like, and I knew about him. I knew who he was. I knew, his talent and everything. But I really didn't. I haven't seen him live. This is the first time I saw him live. I was impressed. And then I talked to their coaches after the game. I was like, man, that Rodemaker kid's really good. Where's he committed to? And he said South Florida. I'm like, South Florida? Yeah, it's like he ain't going to end up there because he's nothing against South Florida, but he was a kid that you felt like should be playing in the major Power 5 schools. And so I was impressed by then. And I was like, man, I wonder if FSU is going to make a run here because this kid's really talented. He can throw the ball. He's got a great knowledge for the offense. And he's very impressive. So it's kind of weird the way things work out, but this is why I go to Valdosta and those areas, guys. Sometimes I'm not intentionally going to see certain prospect, and this is what happens when I do that. I find somebody.
Yeah. There you go. Check out his Rivals.com page, bio profile rather. There you go. It has not updated to show that he is committed to Florida State. Well, actually, no, it has. It shows you there. He previously was committed to South Florida, as Michael said, from June until, look at that, December 13th. That's a really good day. So there you go. One quarterback down, and then obviously the Chubba watch continues from
Yeah, that will be coming up very shortly, guys. So hang on to your whatever you're hanging
Well,
on
not
to.
very shortly. It's probably going to be another hour, so we won't be here for that. Michael's going to have it covered, obviously.
Well, we won't be here, but it'll be coming up soon at 2 o'clock or a little after 2.
If they don't get Purdy, do you think is there somebody else they can snatch up today, or will it be a February thing we'll have to wait for?
I think it'd be a February thing that they would have to wait. I mean, obviously they would have four. I know they have 4 or 5 guys that are coming in, but that they would have target wise that they would target if it's not Purdy. But first things first, we've got to wait and see what happens with that. But I think there's already a plan if something didn't go right. So so yeah, so yes, they do have a plan, guys. So those are wondering, oh, what are they going to do if they don't get that? They have a plan, so settle in, and let's just see what Chuba does.
Jay Ricard from the Premium Recruiting Board, your people, your constituency, your flock, Michael asks, which players do you think will have an immediate impact in 2020 that have signed already?
Oh man, well I think Demore Tate is going to be a really good one. So I think that guy you have to put on there, and I put on there Brian Robinson because they don't have too many receivers that are like Brian. So I would say Brian certainly is going to be high up there, and Malachi Weidman, don't sleep on him. He's a guy that athletically can do a lot of special things. So I think those guys kind of stand out to me. Just off the hoof, just thinking. But I'm sure there's more. I'm just drawing a blank. Manny Rogers. Okay. Oh gosh, him. He is gonna. I think he's gonna play really early. I think he's a good one.
Up north, Knoll guy, my first ever War Chant post, but it's an unimportant question. What's the chance recruits wear the jersey number used in their social media graphics? Probably slim, right? I wonder how that does work. It's just.
I have no idea, man. Y'all are asking me questions now that I can't even.
We're outside our depth, Michael. We're outside our depth, man, with these crazy questions. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the wide receivers was wearing like 28, 27, I forget. Maybe even Steven Dix was wearing something in the 20s. I mean, you can. Telvin did it, but I don't know how likely that is. Let's check. Let's see what's going on over on YouTube right now. A whole bunch of people asking about Chuba. Chuba. I think of like Shaba. Let's see here. Polknell asks, how can we watch Morven Joseph's announcement live stream? I need to go back. I think we tweeted out we retweeted it, I think on the War Chant account. Let me scroll here and see if I can find it. Polk Knowles Twitter will be live streaming the Morven Joseph announcement. So on Twitter, Polk Knowles, all one word, Polk Knowles. Okay. They'll be streaming it apparently on their Twitter. So if you want to know what's going on with Mojo, everybody. But I recommend you just stick around warchant.com. Michael let you know instead of sitting there and watching this crazy feed. Michael's got eye in sky, boots on the ground. Michael's everywhere. Everywhere.
Yep. So far so good on the picks. Yep. So far so good. Okay. Everything's going as planned so far. Obviously, we have a big one at 2:15 that we're going to be waiting on, but with Chuba, but yeah, a lot of good things happening today, Aslan. I think I think it's been a very good day so far for FSU. This was the kind of the tipping point for me is getting Brian Robinson, and then putting the exclamation point I think would be Purdy. And I know Morven's huge too, but to consider this a massive success, I think that's what those two guys, to me, were big ones.
On the screen right now, we have the projected signing times. Earlier, Josh Griffiths from 10:30 in the morning. He did commit to Florida State. Marcus Fleming from Northwestern High School down in Miami went to Nebraska. Brian Robinson, as Michael just mentioned, from Palm Beach Central, has committed to Florida State. Tate Rodemaker from Valdosta High School has committed to Florida State. And the two names left on that list, Chuba Purdy from Perry High School, Gilbert, Arizona, right outside Phoenix, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And then again, Morven Joseph from Lake Gibson. Those are at 4 p.m. Those are the sort of the two big fish still out there. Is that pretty much it for today then, Michael? Is it Chuba and Morven pretty much the only?
I think that's it. Yeah. Obviously, we're waiting on Ja'Kai Douglas for his letter of intent.
Malachi Weidman as well, right?
Malachi Weidman. I'm sure Malachi should be coming in any minute. And then it's basically just Douglas, Morven, and Chuba, and it's a wrap for the day. And then tomorrow, we expect Lloyd Willis to send his in, and then this is a wrap, guys, unless there's a surprise or two hanging out there that I don't know about, and that's certainly possible with this staff that they could be adding. Because I was told, and I'd mentioned this on the board, I was told that it's a possibility FSU could be adding a few guys that I haven't mentioned and not many people have mentioned. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's what I've heard, going into this signing day.
People asking where they can watch the Purdy announcement. I haven't heard, or I'm not aware of any streams.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out, guys. Go to page 7 of our signing day central updates. If you go to the bottom, on the bottom there is a live. There's a YouTube of how you watch it, and it's right there on page 7. Watch it. Turn it on at 2:15. You can watch it live. I don't know what poster put that on there, but dude, you're awesome. Whoever did that, great job finding that. It's on page 7 of our signing day central updates. So go right there, and you will see everything.
People still asking about February targets. Michael's going to be working on that in the coming days, but we're focused on today right now. Abdel does ask, and maybe you can have some insight on this one, Michael, even though it is a February kind of question. Does Alex Atkovich saying he's going to wait until February mean that Florida State is still in the mix, or maybe even a favorite?
Yeah, I mean, after seeing that and going through that, man, if I'm just being honest, guys, it's not talking to somebody that covers FSU, but if that's my kid, I would have a hard time letting them go to FSU if that happened. That's the way I would view it. I don't know if his dad views it that way. Now, if Alex really wants to go there and there's room, then I think it'll happen. But I will be honest, I'll be surprised if there's room, because I think it's important for them to get tackles. They need tackles bad. And I just don't think there's going to be room at the end of the day when you get to the end of room for room for him, because they don't really need interior guys like himself. Now, if there's room, be a great story. But I'm just being straight and on. I'm direct with you guys all the time. I just don't think it's going to come back to that.
Fair enough. I think that's about it for us, Mike. We need to wrap up. People getting crazy on YouTube. Somebody asked, are the white numbers coming back? And somebody accused the guy of being racist. And he's like, I said white numbers, man. So they're losing their minds on YouTube. Everybody on the premium recruiting board seems to be holding up all right. Let me give it one final look-see here and see if we have any new questions for you on the premium recruiting board. And now everybody on YouTube wants to know, what's the link? What's the link for Purdy's announcement, man? So somebody's probably going to try to go on to the PR.
Page 7, guys. It's really simple. Signing Day Central on the message board, on the premium recruiting board. Go to page 7, scroll all the way to the bottom. Bam, you'll see the big thing that says Purdy's
Tell him,
announcement.
Michael.
It's right there, guys. You cannot miss it. I swear. I would not leave you on page 7. I remember that because when I saw it, I was like, hey, that's pretty awesome. That guy did that. So whatever poster put it on there, that guy's a godsend. So thank him. And there it is, page 7, guys.
NoWay123 did it. So shout out to him. And somebody, I don't even know, somebody from our War Chant account just put it in the YouTube chat link. They just put the link there. It wasn't me. I'm not. My hands are up here. I haven't did it. So someone else did it.
It certainly wasn't
All
me.
right, Michael. I'm gonna probably maybe try to take another nap, or at least finish up my my delicious bowl of oatmeal, which is probably really cold right now. We're gonna head over and talk to Mike Norvell. We'll have his entire reaction up on warchant.com as well as YouTube. And Michael, from now till the sun goes down, is going to be focusing on the remaining targets. Again, Chuba Purdy, 215. Check it out. Warchant.com will have a reaction when that goes down, good or bad. And that's all I got, Michael. Great job as usual, man. Keep it up.
You got it.
We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching, everybody.